Accidents happen, but this? A Harry Potter actor says Arnold Schwarzenegger farted in her face on set. Britney has responded to her ex-husband sharing her private life, so what does she have to say? And there's a Kardashian who's enjoying single life again. Want to know which one? Let's catch up. We've got lots to talk about. Settle in, and let's get you up to speed on what's going on in celeb world. So let's start with the Harry Potter actor who says Arnold Schwarzenegger farted in her face on set. In a recent episode of the I've Got News for You podcast, Miriam Margolyes opened up about what it was like to work with Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 1999 supernatural action movie End of Days. Directed by Peter Hyams, End of Days had Schwarzenegger in the lead as an ex-cop that was on the hunt for Satan so he could bring about the Antichrist. Margolyes, who most will know for playing Professor Sprout in the Harry Potter movies, was playing one of Satan's sisters. But Margolyes didn't have a lot of good things to say about Schwarzenegger. She said he was actually quite rude and a bit too full of himself. The disastrous moment that definitely decided Margolyes' opinion of her co-star was in one of the pauses on set, when he had her in a position on the floor that made it impossible for her to escape because Schwarzenegger's character was in the middle of killing her. And he just farted, she said. Margolyes is convinced he did it deliberately and hasn't forgiven him for it to this day. As she says, people fart, including her, but she doesn't go around farting in people's faces for no reason at all. And can we really blame her for not forgiving him for farting in her face? And on a set with lots of people around as well? Next, Britney responds to Kevin Federline, exposing her relationship with her sons. That Britney has been acting a bit irregular hasn't gone unnoticed, even to those who aren't really a fan of her or her work. But by now, her posting nude selfies is almost normal, if still a bit weird, especially considering what it could do to the lives of her sons, who are 15 and 16 years old. Britney was married to Kevin Federline from 2004 until 2007, who has been curiously silent in the last decade and a half. But he opened up about his true feelings regarding his ex-wife in a series of interviews that will be released on ITV. He revealed that Britney's sons have chosen not to talk to their mother for months. When word got around to Britney, she decided to take to her Instagram account, where she posted to her stories that she was hurt that Federline had decided to make her private relationship with her children public. She continues to stand up for herself and her decisions, and reminds fans that the trauma of fame is not just hers to bear, but her children's as well. Not to mention that there are many artists who have done much worse in their day than posting spicy pictures. However, not all fans are convinced, and agree with Federline that someone needs to help Britney, suggesting that there is something not right. And now, Khloe Kardashian is single again. It seems like the blooming love between Khloe Kardashian and her private equity investor has withered. Earlier this year, it was found that Khloe had been introduced to him by her sister, Kim Kardashian, during a dinner party a few weeks before. The revelation came only days after she had doused the rumors from a celebrity gossip Instagram in a comment, saying, "Definitely not true," though that turned out to be not the entire truth. It appears that the romance was only to be short-lived. Those close to Khloe say that the relationship simply fizzled out. Khloe and ex-boyfriend Tristan Thompson just welcomed a baby boy into the world, which they conceived via surrogate. We can imagine that Khloe has enough on her plate being a mom to a newborn and a 4-year-old at the moment. And looking at all she had to go through with Thompson, it shouldn't come as a surprise that her priorities have shifted slightly. The identity of the equity investor has remained a secret throughout the relationship, which is probably a good thing. Those who think she's getting back together with Thompson don't have to worry. Khloe doesn't seem to want to do anything but be with her children right now. Hold up, do you really think that's all we've got? Come on! Anne Heche got into 2 car crashes on August 5th and is now in critical condition in the hospital. We'll let you know all there's known so far about what happened. On the bright side, Chrissy Teigen has found her rainbow after the rain, and the producer of of the Fidel Castro film won't let haters get away without speaking up for their choice. Want to know the finer details? Make sure to stick around until the end of the video. First up, Anne Heche in critical condition, but stable. Anne Heche has been taken into hospital in a critical condition after she was in 2 car crashes on Friday, August 5th, 2022. She was pulled out of her burning car, which she had crashed into a house just after noon in the Mar Vista region of Los Angeles. This was not long after she had crashed into an apartment complex. Residents had attempted to help her, but she reversed the car and sped off. Heche was captured on several security cameras, some of which ended in the hands of TMZ, on which you can see Heche speeding down the street, moments before she would ram her car into a random house, where the car was quickly engulfed in fire, taking the building she had crashed into with it. It took the fire department more than an hour to get the fire in the building under control, and the damage is severe. It is unknown how badly burned Heche herself is, but she was seen in badly charred clothes as she was carried on a stretcher and put into an ambulance. We do know that her injuries were bad enough for doctors to postpone the tests necessary to determine whether Heche was under the influence. For now, it seems like Heche is in a stable condition, but she has a very long time of healing ahead of her. Next, Chrissy Teigen is pregnant again. 2 years ago, Chrissy Teigen shared something with the world that she wished she never had to. She had suffered a pregnancy loss and decided to be open about it with the whole world. It helped people all over the world as they felt seen, and the world saw them. Legend praised his wife many a time for speaking so candidly about something so personal, yet so universally experienced, but not talked about nearly enough. That's why everyone is now so happy for her and her husband, John Legend, with whom the model already shares 4-year-old son Miles and 6-year-old daughter Luna. Teigen decided the best way to let us know about the rainbow baby was by sharing 2 beautiful mirror selfies of herself wearing a black shirt and sheer Gucci underwear, showing off her growing baby bump. In the captions, she finally let go of what must have been echoing through Teigen's mind ever since she found out that she was pregnant again, admitting how hard the last few years have been for her. The last few years have been a blur of emotions, to say the least, but joy has filled our home and hearts again, she writes. Teigen goes on that she'll probably never feel more excited than nervous after an appointment, but for now, everything is perfect and beautiful. She feels hopeful and amazing, not to mention gorgeous. And lastly, James Franco casting defended by producer and daughter of Fidel Castro himself. When the news that James Franco had been cast to portray the infamous Fidel Castro reached John Leguizamo, he spoke up in outrage. How is Hollywood excluding us but stealing our narratives as well? No more appropriation, Hollywood and streamers. Boycott. But according to producer John Martinez Ofalan, he's just plain wrong. Ofalan calls the comments of Leguizamo uneducated and a blind attack that has zero substance related to his project, arguing that a landmass or living area does not determine a person's blood, history, or genetics. Though the latter may be an irrefutable fact, it can be wondered why they went for someone like Franco in favor of someone who could have more obviously represented Cuba. It has to be admitted that Leguizamo has a point there. Nonetheless, Ofalan stands by his decision and has the full support of Elena Fernandez, the daughter of Fidel Castro. Fernandez has been vocal about her happiness with the casting choice and pointed out the resemblance between Franco and her late biological father, who ushered communism into his home country. Fernandez is on the project herself and will be consulting throughout production. And if Castro's own daughter thinks Franco is the best choice, maybe we should agree with her? And that's all we've got for you. Do you think Miriam Margolyes is right to not have forgiven Arnold Schwarzenegger for farting in her face in the middle of a crowded set? Or do you think it was probably an accident? Let us know in the comments what you think. Thanks for watching.